Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to craft a Zaw, which is pretty good, that does not include plague parts. Now, I'm mainly talking about the likes of a polearm, simply because that's what everybody asked me about on livestream, right? So I'm sliding around, I'm getting these red crits using Maiming Strike, Blood Rush, blah blah blah. And everyone's like, Flynn, how do I get this? And I'm like, well, I'm using these plague parts. And they're like, well, I don't know how to get those. Oh, you have to get it from an event. Oh, you have to wait for that event. I don't know when the event's coming back. Yada, yada, yada. And then it's just like, they're big, sad face, right? They have a big, sad face because they can't get the really cool thing. But I'm here to show you guys how to get a really cool thing without having to have the super really cool thing, okay? That makes total sense. So, basically, what we're going to be crafting is a polearm with a Miwan Strike, a Stung Grip, and any link from the Aquanajai family. And it's just really damaging Zaw. So the thought process behind it is, you know, you can have a Aquanajai, which is a link, by the way. An Aquanajai, which gives you kind of like a balance between crit and also status. So you can either build for condition overload or your slide crit or whatever tickles your pickle, right? So if you go ahead and take a look at Forza Zaw, so like I said, the strike is a Mi-1 strike, and then the grip is the stung grip. That's basically going to make your polearm, and then we're taking a look at the links here. So if we go ahead and we click on the Aquanajai, you see that we have an attack speed of 0.8. Actually, let's just go ahead and guild this here. Attack speed of 0.8, critical chance of 14%, leap attack of 129, and that's basically your total damage, by the way. So that's your puncture, slash, and impact added up. So it's total damage of 129, and then a status of 25%. Now, if you go for the other links in the Aquanajai family, you're going to notice minor differences. So for example, if you were to go ahead and throw on Aquanajai 2, you get an increase to your critical chance by 4%, but you deal 4% less damage, and your status stays the exact same. So you're also getting a faster attack speed there as well by 0.083, which, you know, that's a small amount, but it's still, you know, a noticeable difference, right? So that's going to help out if you're using the likes of Arcane Strike, Berserker, etc., because you're going to have a higher base attack speed. So more crit for less damage. It's just more catered towards crit. So you really get to choose here what you want to do. So do you want to have it catered towards crit? Do you want to have a balance, or do you want to have one which is catered more towards status? Now, the Aquanajai has 10% critical chance, 0.8 attack speed, 129 total damage, and then a status of 32%. This is the one that I personally went with, and you can still go ahead and run your, what's it called, your condition overload, your slide crit, or your quick attack, whatever. So yeah, all you have to do is get these free parts by going to this vendor, go to Browse Wares, and then, you know, use your Ostron standing to purchase that stuff. If you want to, then you can go ahead and, you know, get your Exodias and stuff like that if you really want to, and then you can attach it to the Zaw as well, but I would leave that until, like, well after you've crafted all the Zaws that you want to craft, right? So, if we back out, go into my inventory, go to Equipment, go to Arsenal, and then we take a look at my Zaw here, and I have it called Zaw for Scrubs, which is this one, to form a build, and this is the build that you would be running on it for a slide crit. So you have your Blood Rush, you have your body count, so Blood Rush, not body count, sorry, I have Drifting Contact on here for the more status. So Blood Rush, body count, or Drifting Contact is another choice that you can make. Berserker on here for your attack speed, Prime Pressure Point for your damage, Prime Fever Strike to up your total damage, of course. Now, if you don't have Prime Fever Strike, I would recommend running Northwind, because that's going to give you 25% extra damage versus Bombards, but of course that all depends on the enemies that you're going against. But I would just, you know, for simplicity's sake, you don't have Prime Fever Strike, run Northwind. That just makes more sense, unless you're fighting the Infested. In that case, run, what's it called? What's the mod called? Molten Impact, okay? Prime Reach on here for more range. You can replace that for regular reach if you don't have the Prime version. Oregon Shatter for your critical damage. Maiming Strike for that flat 90% crit, which gives us 100% critical chance on every single side attack, because we have a base 10%, which is awesome. And then because we have Blood Rush on there, the more that we slide, we're more likely to get orange and red crits and stuff like that. So yeah, other than that, that is pretty much that build. And if we move on, I'm going to go into config B, and we're going to put together a condition overload build. So let's just go ahead back out of that and back in, and then that resets all the colors over here, because you had noticed that they were all red because we swapped between the two sets there. So stance mod, honestly, to me doesn't matter too much, because you know, it's whatever. Twirling Spire is the one that I usually use, but Bleeding Willow is also a pretty good one as well. But yeah, let's just go ahead and put this together. So I like doing like a hybrid. So I'm still running my my Berserker, you know, Blood Rush body count, stuff like that. So the only difference is I'm replacing Prime Reach for Condition Overload, right? So if we go back to the very beginning, Condition Overload goes there. We have our Prime Pressure Point on here. And then we have our other stuff. Now, trying to memorize all this stuff is like not insanely difficult, but let's just see. Okay, Condition Overload costs more. And then we're going for our Organ Shatter, because why not? We have our Drifting Contact. Let's just go ahead and put this Blood Rush on here, because that makes a little bit more sense. And then we're running our elements. So I would run the likes of... You can either run Geostat Elementals for more consistent procs, or you can run your 90%. It's really down to you, because you have a status chance of 44.8. So what most people will do is they will run Violent Scourge plus the likes of Voltaic Strike, like that. And then that way, you know, you have higher status chance to your proc, and that multiplicative bonus from Condition Overload a little bit more consistently. So Prime Pressure Point for your damage, Violent Scourge plus Voltaic Strike for your corrosive, Blood Rush and Drifting Contact for your crit, Berserker for your attack speed, Condition Overload for, again, the extra damage, and then Organ Shatter for your critical damage. So there's a lot of different variations that you can make for that. This is kind of like a hybrid crit Condition Overload build. Of course, like I said, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do, but this is the build that I usually run. And I guess what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the simulacrum and go ahead and, you know, basically show you how well this Saw performs versus the likes of like level 155, right? Because that's what people are kind of looking for whenever it comes down to it. So yeah, they're just looking for a really good Saw. But the only thing that I would also say to keep in mind is Melee 3.0 is still a thing that's in progress, and it could be added into the game, and it could make this Saw or these builds like completely irrelevant, you know? So let's just go ahead and run a Vault, because Vault is the one that I like using whenever testing this stuff, because I get to like up my attack speed like a lot. So there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to not pause the AI, but I'm going to make myself invincible. And to begin with, we're testing out the Condition Overload build, right? So it's all about applying those status effects to deal a bunch of damage. And as you can see, the more that we apply status effects, the more damage we deal. And the guy dies pretty quickly. Now, it's not the best build in the world, but it's still a pretty good one. And I think it deals pretty decent damage. Could be better if we have multiple elements or something on. So we could maybe like get rid of Organ Shatter and put on you know, another elemental mod if we really wanted to. But I just like having the hybrid of like Condition Overload plus crit on there, because then whenever you do crit and you do have those status effects applied, like your burst damage goes up by a lot, which means you get a lot of kills like really fast. And then if we speed ourselves up with our speed ability, like so, we attack a lot faster. And then also if you like use something like Arcane Strike, for example, you're going even quicker. So, you know, you can really make your Zaw deal a lot of damage, especially if you're playing with the likes of Volt or Valkyrie or whatever. Anything that really increases your melee attack speed or your melee damage or whatever, you know, you're gonna do pretty well with. So let's just go ahead and kill this guy, and then we'll kill the rest, and then we'll swap over to the other builds, which is our Spin the Wind build. So let's go ahead and kill these guys, and then go to our Spin the Wind build, which looks a little bit like this. And then we'll spawn in the guys, get our stuff, hit our 2, because why not? And you can see the damage that we deal is pretty significant. So yeah, all those red crits. Now, it's not like you're killing them omega fast and if you want to kill them Omega fast, you're going to have to get the likes of a Riven that has crit chance on side attack, right? And that's what makes these types of weapons really insane, because you just have weapons that have ridiculous critical chance, and every time you go up a tier in your critical chance, like every 100%, you're actually going to be dealing more damage. Like your multiplier, your crit multiplier is kind of going to go up in a sense. So the higher crit chance you have, the more damage you're dealing. And because like the slide on crit is additive crit, so if you got like a Riven mod that was 150% crit chance on side attack, you pair that with maiming, it's going to take maiming plus that Riven mod into consideration. And then Blood Rush is also going to take from that. So like 90 plus 115 plus like your base. Blood Rush is going to take from that and then add on top of that. And then you're going to have like an insane crit chance like 1,000. So, you know, we're not dealing insane damage right now. But if you got a Riven, it would be ridiculous. So, for example, the Riven that I like to use on my crit bath, right? If I can go ahead and get one, it's called I'm Top Damage. I have you know, slight crit on that. So I have a chance for side attack 81.4. You know, plus I have electric damage and more range on there. And that's the type of rules that you're looking for. Range, damage, or critical damage, or an element. And then critical hit on slide for like minus status duration or minus what's it called? Minus finisher damage, stuff like that. Now I have minus status chance on here, which isn't ideal. Kind of counterproductive, but you know, you'll see that whenever we despawn in these guys, they're gonna die very, very fast. So check this out. The numbers that we deal are significantly higher because this weapon just deals more damage, and we also have higher crit, so they die omega fast. So realistically, it's not really the weapon that's doing the work. Of course, like the base stats in the weapon are like a big reason for it, but it's more so the Riven plus the fact that we have like insane critical chance, you know, and that's super high. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, other than that, that's basically how you put together like a really powerful Zaw. The only other thing that I really want to show you guys is the difference between using Prime Fever Strike and Northwind. We kill these guys. So using Northwind is actually going to give us less damage versus the heavy gunners, but using it versus the likes of Bombards, we're going to get more damage, right? So let's just go ahead and test it out. Depolarity, Northwinds right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spawn in 5 heavy gunners and then 5 Bombards. There we go. And then let's get the Bombards. 1 and 5. Simulate. Get our energy. And then do our slide. So we're not doing like insane damage, but we're still getting those red crits. Those Bombards die extremely quickly, so it's all down to your elements, really. So yeah, they're all dead. And that's how you do it. That's pretty much how it's done. And this is another guy over here, so let's just kill them, get it done and dusted. Die already, please. Feels bad. There he is. He's dead. So that's it. You know, use things to boost up your attack speed like Vault, whatever. And get some crazy Rivens, crazy builds going. And then you're going to be Beyblading all day, every day, right? So, yeah. And just for, you know, why not? Skoliak with an insane Riven. I'll show you this one too. So, 135.5% critical hit. So, let's go ahead and spawn them in. Try it out. Not that big of a fan of the whips, but sometimes it doesn't extend. Sliding isn't super consistent, which is why I prefer the Zaws and the polearms, but you kill them super fast. And it's great. These guys aren't dying that fast, though. Okay, we're good now. That's it. So, yeah. That's how you make your own custom Zaw without having to have plague parts and kill things really quick. Now, that was versus level 155. Just think about what you're going to be doing whenever you're casually playing in a relic mission. Like, you're going to be killing everything. So, yeah, other than that, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button below, and if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.